Hello, this is Steve Malone with Compass FX. I hope you're doing well today and you get some good trades. The euro dollar continues to slide down, and as a matter of fact today it hit one of the levels that I had spoken about in a previous video, and during the market this morning in my live active trade room the market hit that level. So folks had known about this level for a while now, and so hopefully you took advantage of it. But I know the folks in my trade room trade along with me, and we traded short on the euro dollar today in the live active trade room, and we hit that target. So I want to show you that. I also want to turn our attention over to another euro-based currency pair, the euro-yen. I've had some folks ask me, has the euro-yen bottomed out? I think there's still room to go to the downside on that euro-yen, but we're going to have to take a look on a big picture. We literally have to go out 11 years to see where the euro-yen goes to next. Now remember this, price has a tendency to go where it's been before. So when we start breaking levels, what you got to do is you got to go out in time, maybe to that big picture or the big picture, and find where price has been before. Okay, so let's take a moment today and look at the euro dollar. We're going to look at the euro yen as we take a look also at the dollar yen, because I think it's important that you look at the dollar yen as well. The dollar yen is making lower lows because of U.S. Treasury yields. U.S. Treasury yields broke 1.67% yesterday. That was a floor. That's a pretty strong support floor. However, today I saw it dip down close to the 1.5% level. This is going to cause more weakness in the dollar and greater strength in the yen. Now, think about this. If the euro is weak and continues to get weak, as the IMF today does nothing related to the Spanish banks, and it seems that Greece is on the way out the door anyway, well, that's going to cause additional weakness in the euro dollar, and with U.S. Treasury yields dropping is going to cause strength in the yen. Thus, we have the euro going down, the dollar yen going down, and therefore we're going to have the euro yen continue to go down. Now, fundamentals aside, we got to look at the technical aspects, because anybody and everybody could say something about what the market's going to do, but from a technical standpoint, let's just see if that lines up with what some of the fundamentals are happening in the marketplace. Now, take a look at the euro dollar here. You can see on a weekly chart, and I've talked about this a few times, that we had this big head and shoulders pattern. We had this neckline coming across, a declining neckline, which is important for a head and shoulders to complete its pattern to the downside. I simply drew fibs from the swing low to the swing high. If you look right down here, the market, after it broke the neckline, pushed right down to that 127.2 level, which is right about 23.88. What many are expecting is the market to push down to 141.4, which is going to put us in that 122.50 zone, 122.60 area. Some are expecting even it to drop further down, but I think we're going to be due in this area for a bounce back up. Let's take a closer inspection of the euro dollar on a 4-hour chart. As we take a look at the 4-hour chart, I want to draw your attention to this retracement. This is the largest retracement that we had, about 182 pips a couple of weeks ago. And if I simply take the fibs again and run it, let me show you something. I pointed out to folks in a previous video I was expecting the market to reach 123.46. Well, guess what? It did just that today. I told folks the market most likely is going to go down this 2618 level in a previous video. So if you saw my previous videos, yeah, there you had it. Market did what I thought it was going to do, and off that simple retracement, we extended out. So at that point, then there's bigger moves down below. Again, we have to look at that weekly level of 122.66. But what is important right now is what I see in the charts as a potential pattern in the euro dollar. The euro dollar has made this tremendous move down. Right now it's setting up what appears to be right here, a slight double bottom, a pin low but closed higher. This is closed higher than this close over here. There's a possibility of a double bottom and a push up. So look to see if the euro is going to come up and break about the 24.25 level or so. If it breaks the 24.25, then what we're going to be looking for is a test of the neckline, which is going to be right around that 125 to 125.20 area. If that holds, look for a bounce off of this resistance neckline and a push back down. Okay, now let's take a look at the dollar yen before we go over to the euro yen, because I think it's important that you are aware of some key levels with the dollar yen. Now if you take a look here, this looks like this has been up and down all over the place. This is literally a weekly chart of the dollar yen. A lot of folks were expecting the market to hold up in this area, or at least hold this level right here. It didn't do that. Let me put a line right here, and you can see that that level we've already broken. That's around 79.55. A lot of folks, including myself, was looking for the market to hold that. Now, right now, the dollar yen, from that low to that high, has broken the 618 level. 618 wasn't too far away, so there was a lot of folks expecting the market to possibly push down that 618, which is around the 7,900 level, and push up. Didn't do that. So where do we go to now? Well, look down here. You see this little area right down here. If I take this one candle out, this little area right down here is a pretty good sized range. What's the top of the range? Well, the top of the range is pretty much on average right where we're at, about that 78.25 level. The bottom of the range, take the average lows here, is going to put us in the ballpark. If I just take it low, low, some lows here, another low, somewhere right in this area is going to put us down around that 76.20 area. So this is a contestable area right here for that dollar yen. Now here's a thought. We've broken the 618. We're attempting to break this level right here, the top of the range that we experienced back in here. I'm thinking there's a chance that the dollar yen slides down a little bit more to the 78.6 level or the 88.6 level. That would bring this down to right around 77. So here's my thought. Euro is going to continue to possibly slide down unless it takes a little bounce back up for retracement, but probably a move back down, continually down to 122. The dollar yen continues to fall, possibly down into this area. That leads me to believe that the euro yen is going to continue to push down further. So if we go out and take a look at the euro yen, you can see that the euro yen broke the 97.02 level that we experienced back in January the 16th. And we had a nice bounce off of that. Why? Because this level, we have to go back 11 years to see the market down in this area. And so as we break, what's the potential for the market to move on down? If I simply run my fibs again like I did on the euro, again this is a euro yen weekly chart, there's a potential to see the market 127.2 at 93. Here's the monthly chart. And if I scroll over on the monthly chart, you can see that in April of 2000, we were down this area. So if I take a look at this and let's identify some of these levels, because if price has a tendency to go back to where it's been before, well, it should go down to one of these low levels here that we see. So hold on just a sec. Let me move this in place. Let's go take a look at the weekly euro yen, and let's just simply identify some potential targets. We have a low point right in this area right there, and that's about just about the 94.80 level right there. Okay, now we do have this low right down here, and then we have some other ones to consider here. There's some average lows right about in that area, and you see there's a couple of them right here matched with the high. So if I zoom in a little bit here, let me zoom in a little bit here, and you can see it. See right in this area, there's some lows here, and there's a high right there, another low, somewhere right in that area. Now we have a couple of lows again in this area, right in that area, and that puts us down around that 91.55 level. So there's some potential for the market to continue to slide down and reach as low as 88.87 that was experienced back in October of 2000. So if we take a look at this again, we go back to the end of the chart here, and I simply run that fib number again from low to high, and we look for anything that really kind of matches up here. Let me see if I can do this here. You can see that the 127.2 sits at that 93 low experienced back in November 2000, but look where that 141 sits. That 141 sits right below the 91.55, or should I say right in between 91.55 and 90.65. So with that in mind, and also take a look at this. From the TDI, we've seen this week the market breaking this upward trend line. If we get a follow through here, there's a possibility of seeing the euro yen continue to slide to the downside. Well, folks, this is Dean Malone with Compass FX. Hope some of this information will help you in your trading. I took a little bit more time today to go over the euro dollar, to go over the dollar yen, and the euro yen. So there is the potential right now for the euro yen to at least come down towards that 95.74 level. So I would expect the market to push down lower and get down towards these levels here, 95.74, 94.80. Those are the possible levels to look for, and then we'll look for a possible push down to 93. Now, be mindful though that we've completed this big pattern here. We could see a pin low and then a bounce back up. Watch your Trader's Dynamic Index here. The Trader's Dynamic Index shows a low, a high, and then a low. You can see it had a head and shoulders pattern, broke down, then finally this shows a head and shoulders and breaks down. Typically price follows sentiment. So we'll watch what happens here. If this develops a double bottom and we start seeing a turn back up towards the market baseline, then I would suspect a possible move back to test maybe the 98 area, maybe a 99 area. But if it doesn't, if we see the market baseline stay on top and this continue to slide down lower, there's the test right there around that 95.70 level and then the 94.80 level. Well, folks, y'all make it a great day. Get some good trades. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.